Code41 have made the biggest improvement to their watch. They've made it smaller. Hi last watchers, Code41 have sent me their third incarnation of the DAY41, a watch that is only available via pre-order which closes on the 4th of November. If you like this one, then you better not hang around, though I guess there might be a 4th edition in 2022. I have previously reviewed the Anomaly 01 and the Evolution from Code41, both best described as mid-sized watches. Well, at least on paper anyway. The Anomaly was 42mm in diameter with a 50mm lug-to-lug and a 24mm lug width. The Evolution was slightly smaller in nearly every respect, bar the lug width, but both watches, courtesy of the cushion-shaped styling and the exaggerated lug width, were much larger than you might expect. I have since given the Anomaly to my son-in-law. He's 6'3" and some 5 stone heavier than me, and he loves the watch, which is a much better and well proportioned fit on his wrist. When Code41 offered the DAY41 for review, I noted that it came in 2 sizes, and rather than opt for the 40mm, I asked them to send me the 37. That may or may not have been a mistake on my part. Before I get started, I should point out that the DAY41 has been sent to me free of charge and is mine to do with as I please. I'm not being paid for this review. Actually, I've never been paid for a review. However, if you click on any of the links provided in the video description below and ultimately buy a watch, then the channel will earn a commission from that sale, which will no doubt go towards further watches for review. Let's crack on with the dimensions, take a closer look at the watch and see if I made a boo-boo with my selection. Excluding the crown, the case diameter is spot on 37mm. The lug-to-lug is 44.6mm and the lug width is a rather awkward 21mm. The case thickness is a respectable 10.5mm, relatively slim for an automatic. The weight of the case is 53.52 grams. The strap adds a further 22.86 grams, bringing the total to a little over 76 grams. This thing is a bit of a lightweight. The DAY41 is an all 316L stainless steel case that is available in 2 sizes and 5 different finishes. There's a standard stainless steel, which is also available with diamonds for added bling, a rose gold PVD, a black PVD, and the anthracite PVD, which I have in hand. They are all unmistakably Code41 watches. Although smaller, there's no disputing that they take their design cues from the cushion-shaped styling of previous offerings from the brand. It retains the Code41 DNA of strong bold lines and contours. The case is almost entirely brushed with a fine satinized finish. There are some exceptions to this, with the lug-defining cutout on the profile and the lower part of the bezel both being polished. A bezel that now has a chamfered rather than squared off edge encasing its crystal. One of the biggest bugbears from the previous Code41 watches was the overly wide lug width. The DAY41 has addressed this in part with slimmer lugs and a narrower lug width. They still keep their polished bolsters or spacers, but they too have been reduced in size. The dual cut polished and signed pull-out crown has also seen a reduction in size, adding only 3mm to the case width. The crystal on the DAY41 is a slightly raised flat sapphire with an undisclosed amount of anti-reflective coating. Jumping the gun a little here, but the DAY41 is a sapphire sandwich, as the case is fitted with sapphire glass both front and back. Below the sapphire glass is a brushed anthracite dial consisting mainly of an outer perimeter, a solid chapter ring with painted white indices, marking not all but the majority of the hour markers. That thick perimeter has been intersected, overlaid and overtaken by some strong angular 3-dimensional bridges. Bridges that switch in decoration between simple brushing and bold Côte de Genève stripes along quite sharp lines. It's a design that catches and plays with the light. As well as losing the 2, 6, 9 and 10 o'clock hour markers, Code41 have also done away with nearly all of the text from their previous designs. They have of course kept the Code41 branding on the left hand bridge. If it wasn't already obvious, the DAY41 is a full-on skeleton watch. I have to be honest here, I can't say that I started out as a big fan of Hole in the Heart or skeleton watches. I like to look at my watch and know immediately what the time is, something that can be quite tricky to do with an overly busy movement stealing the show. I'm pretty sure that's why they invented display case backs. However, if you want to see the caliber in your watch without taking it off your wrist, then I say go big or go home. Treat yourself to a full skeleton and none of this hole in the heart or partial cut out dial rubbish. Probably another reason why I gave away the Anomaly 01. The DAY41 has certainly gone big on transparency, as it allows you to see almost the entire movement within, a glimpse of the mainspring barrel and an unspoilt view of the balance wheel, and a clear view of what happens to be behind your watch, whatever that might be. It brings a whole new meaning to Code41's TTO mantra. For those of you new to Code41, TTO stands for Total Transparency of Origin, as the brand are quite open about where they source their parts and the costs involved. The industrial design of the DAY41 dial has been finished with a brushed steel skeleton handset painted with white lume and a very long stick seconds hand with a paperclip style counterbalance. I think that Code41 could do better with this handset. The seconds hand does a more than admirable job, but the hour and minute indicators are somewhat lacking on such a bold design. I think they are more than due an overhaul, as they look quite out of place on this dial. I'll drop in a lume shot here of the hands. You can see that the hour markers are also painted with what I presume to be BGW9 lume. It's not fantastic, but adequate for a dress watch. The rear of the DAY41 is more than enough to rival the front. The caseback is a much more streamlined affair. Previous designs from Code41 suffered from an overly large bottom that a Brazilian Instagram model would have been proud of. This wee beauty has been on a diet and has lost some much needed weight and bulk. It is, however, still held in place with Code41's signature hex screws. At the heart of the caseback is a display window that gives us another view of the movement within. A movement that, as of yet, I haven't named. This is the STP615. STP being the acronym for Swiss Technology Production. The 615 is a skeletonized version of the STP111. The 615 is a time-only caliber that hacks and handwinds. A 4Hz automatic movement with 26 joules and a 44-hour power reserve that runs at 28,800 beats an hour or 8 ticks per second. It's rated for accuracy between plus or minus 15 seconds per day. Code41 state that the watch has been tested in 5 different positions. I note they didn't say regulated, but this could be a bad translation, as this little marvel is running a little over plus 1 second per day. No complaints from me. The STP is not a bad looking caliber, but Code41 have gone the extra mile and decorated the rotor with Côte de Genève, labelled it with the Code41 branding and highlighted the 26 joules, more importantly pointing out that this is a Swiss movement. An upgrade from previous Miyota offerings which many of you thought substandard for a wannabe luxury watch brand. Around the caseback display we have further info on the watch that you might have expected on the dial. Automatic, their aforementioned TTO acronym, Code41 branding, its water resistance to 10 atmospheres or 100 meters to you watch newbies, and its sapphire crystal, or should that be crystals. Lastly, its DAY41 designation, edition 2, and its allocation number 1192 out of 1200. So it would seem that I have one of the last releases from the previous build run, which I guess makes sense if they are only now taking pre-orders for the 3rd generation. The strap on the DAY41 is the perforated taupe calf leather, a polite way of saying brown. It's not at all what I would have chosen. I actually requested the bracelet for this review, but again a miscommunication resulted in this brown leather. The strap starts at 21mm between the lugs and tapers to 18mm at the matching anthracite all brushed PVD coated stainless steel double push button deployant clasp. That was a bit of a mouthful. Fitting the strap couldn't be easier, as it's fitted with what is becoming an almost standard for new brands in any case, quick release spring bars. And the adjustment is easy enough, courtesy of a hidden pin. Although the strap still needs some wearing in, it is way more comfortable than the chunky previous 24mm versions. It's not ideal at 21mm, but it's much less cumbersome and more supple. I'm also glad that they finally fixed the sharp edges on the double push button release. No jaggy edges digging into my wrist. I would of course opted for something a little more colourful to contrast with the anthracite case, but the brain will have to do. The 37mm DAY41 was initially designed to be a ladies' watch, before the clever folks at Code41 realised they shouldn't be bound by gender stereotypes. They now market it as a unisex watch, which I guess is better than non-binary. The fact is, wearing a watch is all about attitude. I know there are male viewers out there who prefer a smaller watch, and some women that are rather partial to having something with impact on their wrist. As a guy with a fairly standard 7-inch wrist, the 37 is a good fit. I suspect the 40 could hit the sweet spot. Code41's smallest watch comes in a much larger box than previous lines. A felt liner protects a black Code41 branded case with a spring-loaded hinged lid. It has a premium feel for what is effectively some quality cardboard with a composite interior. Inside you'll find a lonesome looking and somewhat naked DAY41, securely displayed in its own little cutout window awaiting your attention. A hidden certificate of authenticity and a thank you booklet with details about the brand and the DAY41's 2-year guarantee. All of Code41's watches come with free worldwide delivery and a 30-day returns policy. Bizarrely, even though there is an obvious place for it in the overly large watch box, the strap for your DAY41 comes in its own individual cardboard sleeve and box. I think Code41 could save themselves a few pennies on cardboard and give their green credentials a boost by putting the watch strap in the same box as the watch. The DAY41 is proof that good things come in small packages. The reduction in size has added a touch of refinement and finesse that was missing from its bigger brothers. But it comes with a whopping price increase starting at 1,150 Swiss francs. Yes, a reminder, this brand is based in Switzerland. In British sterling, the watch will cost you £1,175 on a leather strap. That's just shy of $1,600. But opt for the steel and diamond variant on a bracelet and that will jump to £1,855 or $2,600. I think that might be too much to ask for a brand striving to hit a global market that doesn't have Swiss on the dial. I might be tempted to pop over the border to Germany and treat myself to a Zin for the same money. The DAY41 is by far the best watch that Code41 have sent me for review, and as someone who struggles to enjoy skeleton watches, I appreciate its design and its looks. You might even consider me a convert to its open dial. Due to its lack of indices and markers, it's not a watch that you'll wear for accuracy, which is a shame because it's fairly bloody accurate. I prefer its smaller dimensions, lug width, thickness, and even the diminutive crown. All of these with the narrower strap dimensions help to make it a much more wearable watch. The lume is quite pitiful, but of little consequence on a non-tool watch, and after spending some time with it on the wrist, I'm even happy to forgive the unexciting hands, as they contrast quite well against the dial. Telling the time has never been an issue. Taking your eyes off the STP movement, maybe. As always, with most watch purchases, the price tag will be the biggest stumbling block for this little watch, but I know how subjective that can be. Let me know what you think of the DAY41 and if you think Code41 offer value for money. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.